Sam? That one.
Thank you for making those copies.
No problem.
Yeah. Now I've
Oh,
got.
I have another copy.
Well, I didn't know who would bring
Did you want
That's
one?
fine,
You want
yeah,
that?
that's fine, I don't care. It does, it's not a big deal. It's actually better safe than sorry, you know what I mean? All right, everybody, I'd like to call to order at this time the July 20th meeting of the Preston County Commission. And if everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So let the record show that all three commissioners present, Commissioner Stone, Commissioner Price, Commissioner Smith. Do we have anybody that's not on the agenda that wishes to be recognized at this time?
Not to the best of my knowledge, sir.
So, thank you. This time it brings down the review of the bills. I have a motion to approve the bills.
I make a motion to approve the bills as they have been presented and reviewed.
Second. Motion on the floor in a second to approve and pay the bills. Commissioner Stone,
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes.
Yes.
Just a note on the bills, you'll see some say, oh, the new budget, if you want to pay attention to that.
Right.
This is last day for bills for the previous.
Yeah, I kind of figured you were winding that stuff down. In the assessor's office, Ms. Connie, tax correction.
Just have a tax collection for Hyundai Leasing Company.
Okay.
A vehicle that they had, that was not titled in Preston County, evidently turned it in. The amount was $347.96.
Okay, gotcha. Therefore, 347.96. You got a motion to approve this tax correction.
Make a motion to approve the tax correction that has been presented by the assessor, the Honda lease titling insurance personal.
Second.
Motion on the floor in a second to approve the tax correction list. Commissioner Stone.
Yes.
Commissioner Price.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
Yep. All right. Mr. Schooley from Big Bear Lake. Public water, if you please come up, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing me to speak. I am Mark Schooley, General Manager of Big Bear Lake Camplands, and I'm here to inform the Commissioners of my request to be served by PSD number 4 and to support any projects they may need to meet this request. Just a little bit of history. Big Bear is one of the largest and most unique camplands in this country. We are a vital component to Preston County's tax basis and economy, as well as provide employment for many of our local citizens. Over the years, it has become increasingly more difficult to provide potable drinking water to the thousands of owners and visitors that come to Big Bear. We operate 55 different public water systems at Big Bear, whereas PSD number 4 is one system. That should give you an idea as to the complexity and the situation that I face. I foresee a point in the future that I will be unable to supply water to the camplands. This would jeopardize the very existence of Big Bear Lake. Therefore, I have requested PSD number 4 to supply water to us. The problem is PSD number 4 does not have the capacity to supply our needs. I recently met with PSD number 4's board and engineer and have a preliminary plan to phase in their system. With low interest loans, we are willing to bear the cost of the infrastructure needed within the camplands. However, we also know that the funds needed for PSD number 4 to increase their capacity is beyond the scope of our ability. Therefore, I'm asking the county commission to give any and all consideration possible to PSD number 4's needs to increase their capacity to serve Big Bear and the growing district that they supply water to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have, Mark, do you have a clue about how much, I mean, is PSD4 share with you how much it would cost, I mean, at this time, or do they have an idea, or are they just still working on that, or?
Well, they're still working on it. I mean, we know that, I have a few ideas that we've talked about how to phase it in. I have one public service district that is a class 1 system. It serves permanent homes, mobile homes. To bring the main line, which is already at the gate, to that mobile home park would be somewhere around $400,000. We would hope to be able to plan and make that line capable of supplying the water to the camplands and our water park. Once inside the camplands itself, you know, I know that's going to be our responsibility. But there's a whole lot of engineering work to be done with that. We're willing to, you know, we know that that's going to be our stuff. And as long as I can get some assistance with some low interest loans, long-term kind of stuff, we know we have to go that. I'm really concerned though, at some point, I'm not going to be able to supply water. And at that point, if you can't supply water to our customers, we're in trouble.
Is the issue right now with PSD4 is they need a storage facility for water. They have water, right? Is that
As I
correct?
understand, they would need more wells. They would probably need more storage.
And I believe that's
They
part
have-
of what they have already
They
submitted to us in a
they
plan.
didn't submitted the storage part, but they did submit the part
I think
that
there was
was more
storage.
wells and with the piping. So that I'm familiar with, because when they presented to us a while back, they did talk about the number of wells they had to drill to increase the capacity and the amount of pipeline, but they didn't say anything about storage capacity that I'm aware of. But I do know they mentioned the wells.
Yeah. You know, once maybe the first phase bringing in and get that class 1 off our, essentially our responsibility. And then, you know, being able to start running pipes in the campland itself, I imagine there would be some need for additional storage. But that stuff would have to be worked out.
Phased in.
with
They'll
the-
they'll have to figure out the engineering aspect of that to see if there's a holding tank needed or a storage tank.
Yes.
Because I almost think that there would probably have to be some kind of holding tank of some sort, because you're going to have peaks and dips.
We are very unique in
Yeah,
how we
exactly.
use our water.
Right, exactly. So you're gonna have dips and, and stuff like that. So it's just to have one line coming in is not probably gonna be feasible. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. How many campers, residents are there?
We have around 3,000 assessment paying owners. We have close to a little more than 4,000 lots. We actually even have some areas yet that can be developed and expand. I can't do that without water. Our water park demands a lot of water, and I'm seeing increasingly difficult getting the water out of the ground. My wells we're taking so much water out of the ground for small systems that it makes it more difficult. Also, the regulations that we're under continue to change. I'm really struggling with keeping certified employees that we're required to have. Increasingly, I'm finding it more difficult to get information from Charleston. They're short-staffed, as everybody, and it's really become difficult. They have and come inspect us all the time, and they keep telling me, Mark, you need to be looking at public water. We can't keep doing this.
Mhm.
And, you know, it only takes one decision in Charleston to essentially put us out of business.
Do you have an idea, has PSD told you what kind of money is involved in their end to?
They threw out about $15 million. I imagine, just the first phase was around 400,000 for us. I'm not real sure how much it's gonna take on our end within the campground. It's going to be in the millions. But again, we're willing to, fund that, with some help. I can't go out and get a high interest loan but if we can get some help, we're willing to pay for it.
We appreciate you coming today and the information that you have given us, the conversations that we had. We really need, I believe, to get with PSD4, again, and have some additional conversations and see with what they presented to us if that was in
If
fact
that was with that in mind.
enough.
I might have an opportunity to get a little light shed. I'm gonna meet with them.
Well, we have
Yeah, they're
information,
proposing, I'm
that
sure
they
that.
filled out in form. It does talk about capacity, so we just need to, hey, Mark, if you'll send me just a synopsis of what you said today in an email, let me attach that with what I have from PSD number 4 when I prepare their packets, that'll help. And, make sure you emphasize what you're willing to do on your end.
Sure.
Okay, that'd be, so I can keep everything kind of herded together there.
Very good.
Anyway, I'll meet with them on Thursday and I'll maybe get a better idea of what they proposed would include the big
Gotcha.
insurance structure coming up and seeing risk and stuff.
Perfect.
That'd be good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Hey, Mark, do you have my email?
Apologize, we were running behind on the schedule this morning.
It's all right.
All right. This time this brings us down to Sheriff and also Melissa with the employee hire and budget revision. Who wants to go first? I guess you, Melissa, you're looking at me intently.
Break the ice.
Is that your job?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the icebreaker. It's just a budget revision for contract pay. Divide that up into salaries, pay, retirement, for the guys to get paid for their work. And the June 2021 speed patrol was $250 and just breaking that up.
We do have a budget revision.
All right.
And,
Good morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
See you, Daniel.
Well. Cannonball.
thank you.
Morning,
Morning.
this is for a hire of a utility officer. So we request your advice and consent to employ Mr. Nathan Linger as a utility officer for Preston County Sheriff's Office. His starting date would be August 2nd, 2021. And his rate of pay will be $12 per hour for 3 months probationary time. And then it will be based off his salary for hourly rate.
I make a motion to approve the hire of Nathan Linger as utility officer for the Preston County Sheriff's Office. Starting date to be August 2nd, 2021, with the pay rate probationary of $12 per hour for 3 months.
What happens after 3 months, Sheriff? On
It'll
that?
be based off his hourly.
He'll just go to
Just go into
salary,
his
salary.
Position.
Because
Same
that,
rate, same rate of pay?
That's what they have in their budget right now.
Wow, okay.
We need to, did you second that?
No, he did not.
Second, that discussion on that.
All right, motion on the floor and a second to approve this employee hire. Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We, all we've got one.
All right, brings us down to approval of the minutes for June 29th.
I make the motion to approve the minutes for June 29th, 2021.
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second to approve the minutes of June 29th. Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the proceedings and vacations, July 8th, 2021 through July 14th, 2021.
Second.
Motion on the floor, second to approve the dismissal of the receiving vacation. Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Yes.
We have, these settlements, I'll do this better. Dinger, Daughtery, and Weaver.
Second.
All right, motion on the floor and a second to approve the estate settlements. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Yes. All right, and the fiduciary commissioner's report was emailed to us, but from Ms. Williams. Motion to basically accept and file a report, to approve it.
My motion would be to let the record show that we accepted or received the second quarter state status from Sheila K. Williams.
Second.
Motion on the floor, second to accept the fiduciary commissioner's report. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Stone?
Yes.
Yes. Old business. New business, we have, I think, the Patriot Mining Company. So, basically dealing with the legal advertisement for Patriot Mining Company permit number 01021, I'm sorry, 86 week question looking paper. And it's basically talking about where it's dealing with the compliance of the surface mining laws of West Virginia is what it's dealing with, and it's near Oakdale. It's just basically bring it to our attention. So for phase 1 and phase 2, they're applying to the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection for phase 1, 2, and 3 release on increment number 1. And this is located in the Valley District of Preston County, near Arthurdale, and discharges into the Squires Creek, Three Forks Creek, the Haggard River, the Monongahela River, and this is just basically for them to file their permitting application to and clear their bond. So, and the bond was set for only, $54,740. So any written comments have to be to the DEP by August 30th, 2021, or within 30 days of the final publication of the ad. So, and it's going to be published basically starting July 19th, running through the 30th of July. So this is just public notice. So if anybody has any comments they want to make, they have to make them to the public service, to the DEP, I apologize, about this permit. And like I said, it's been filed in the local paper. That's that for that. Kathy's not around. So I'll tell you what, we'll just skip to, let's do the commissioner's comments. Commissioner Steen, do you have anything that's come about this past week or getting ready to come up?
Had a meeting with the Economic Development Authority full board. We approved our strategic plan for the coming year, some things and projects and different things that's going on there. It was a pretty good turnout. It's the first full board meeting we've had since the pandemic hit that was in person and ready to go, so that was good. We did have someone that attended the meeting. Tim Weaver out of Rollsburg attended the meeting and had some comments regarding a property that he was instrumental in. It was a property that was given to the EDA, so, folks are concerned with what's going on with that, so we were working through that. Also, I've been following up and trying to get some information on the Zen Chapel's portion of the road leading to the new dam project. Not only with speaking with the conservation agency, but also the DOH at multiple levels. And speaking with the conservation agency, there was not any funding that was set aside for that road. According to multiple people that I've spoke with, the road itself has no weight restrictions, so there was no bond needed. And we find that in Preston County on multiple roads that gets used for construction use or logging or whatever it might be. And because we don't have that requirement of the weight restrictions, as long as the trucking companies traveling the road are at legal weight of what they're allowed to haul, it doesn't matter what it does to the road. The bonding isn't something that has to be done. So anyway, there is no funds that were set aside. With that being said, the pressure that, the citizens of the road, multiple people involved, that road is being paved and is set to happen sometime this fall. So it will be paved from where they left off. It will cross over the Kingwood Pike. When they cross over the Kingwood Pike and continue on to Zen Chapel, that portion from Zen Chapel to the McKinney Cave intersection will be tar and chipped. And then it's my understanding there'll be some additional road construction on McKinney Cave taking place. So there are plans, and all of those are set to be done sometime in the fall, this coming fall. So the citizens, I think, will be happy with that. I, on the other hand, am pleased with the road getting fixed, but I really believe that we need to look at the legislation that needs to take place about these roads, these secondary roads being bonded, having restrictions and things, and holding these companies that are truly tearing the road up and making it worse. Now, I believe that there's a lot of damage to roads prior to these companies coming.
Right.
But we need to, once we get some of these roads fixed, I think, when they need to be fixed when those companies pull back out. And so whatever that needs to happen, I believe is at the legislative level. I believe I've had conversations with Dave Seipel concerning those issues in the past. It's the same thing, with the roads. When you travel downtown in Morgantown and you see great big trucks traveling constantly on these little narrow roads through town and different things. So, I believe that's a legislative issue that needs to be handled. So I'll be looking into that. So anyway, that is the update on Zen Chapel. And I think other than I did go out last week and I did meet with Mr. Schooley out at Big Bear Lake. So if you guys have any additional questions about that, don't hesitate to ask. He pretty much did a good job of, in a nutshell, of what we discussed, presenting that to us this morning. So.
All right. Thanks, now to our minister's report.
Okay, I'm sorry, I need to talk to him and I haven't had a chance to get with him. Actually, they approved the letter of the DOH. If you remember that I provided that to you, and you had approved it to move forward because our meeting is this morning. But I have provided it to Kathy. It was unsigned, so I will provide her. I stamped your names as you gave me approval through email. Just let you know, all those were sent. We had correspondence from E911, the communication center. We had correspondence from Camp Central Ambulance Service. We had correspondence from the Terre Haute Community Ambulance Squad, from the County Commission, from the Terre Haute Volunteer Fire Department, as well as the petition. So
Mayor.
Oh, yes, in the town. I'm sorry, Gabe, that was the last one. In the town of Terre Haute. I believe you have, I'm not sure I CC'd you guys on the emails, but I have the original copies of these letters. Did get those to that chief engineer.
I thought I saw that
request-
you emailed to them.
I did request that he present those to, I believe the cabinet secretary is going to be at the meeting today as well as the deputy commissioner. So I did request that he give it to all the officials that are there. So not certain of exactly what time that meeting is, but hopefully we'll hear something in the next couple of days that they have funded that project. So I appreciate the commissioners and the officials getting those letters, a very important project that needs to be funded. So that's that. Animal shelter update. Okay, I have several things on the animal shelter. We do now have, it was very, very hot in that facility due to the new construction and air conditioning unit was taken out. We had some water encroachment. So last week, through our maintenance staff, we fixed that problem. We now have portable air conditioner in the cat room, as it's called, and also an additional unit in an intake room. I'd say the temperature went down 20 degrees. So things seem to be very comfortable up there now. It was very hard on your employees as well as the animals that are housed there. So I think we took care of that. In that same venue is H.E. Newman was out, did a site review of your heating and cooling up there, waiting on a quote from them to do a permanent fix. I'm sure we'll need new ductwork. We're looking at, we do not have 3-phase, so we just get, you can't put, hopefully we don't need that size unit because there is not.
But once
3-phase
they
up
do the
there.
evaluation on them, better.
Yeah, and then we'll find out much better what our need is. We did incorporate, if you remember, we made an investment up there on 3 hanging gas heaters. Those are incorporated in the concept to fix that heating and cooling. Next on the animal shelter, if you remember, we have some concrete work that needs to be fixed. Got a quote, it's $14,000, that's a verbal quote. With a verbal quote of that, that's definitely under your threshold. So I'm gonna present for you a written quote, and I would request that if it remains at below the threshold that we move forward with that. The company is 4C's Construction. We've worked with them prior, they did work for you. They're the ones that tore down the wrestling barn. Make their own concrete, Preston County company. So I'd like to move forward with that. That would be an October project. We want to make sure that we get that done before the weather gets really cold, and he's okay with that. Also, we're going to expand the cattery. We have a donation coming our way for that project. I'll have a better design for you as we move forward. But we do have an anonymous donor who's come forward to give us help with cattery. So actually what that will be is an enclosed outdoor atmosphere for the cats up there. I think that's the update on the animal shelter. Don't have a date yet to start the sewer project. I'll reach out to Kingwood Sanitary Sewer. I believe that they had a meeting. They have to present
Right.
the tap fee application and all that. So I will reach out to them and get a start date on that. Other maintenance items that's coming our way. If I have reached out, and I have for you today, a proposal, the drive-through, as I mentioned to you, has a structural issue. I've reached out to Michael Howe, who is an engineer with Aero Engineering. Got some advice from Michael Mills. He has presented me with a small on-site review. Doesn't include design or anything like that. This is basically just I've sent him photographs. He's gotten some knowledge from that. But this is to perform a site visit with Preston County personnel to evaluate the existing structure and determine the extent and cause of noticeable structural cracks that have occurred in the facade of the building. So it's $750. I'd like permission to sign the agreement and move forward. And then I'm hopeful Mr. Howe will get here sometime late next week.
Okay.
So I'd ask permission for the president to sign.
All right, motion to authorize him to sign this contract.
So moved. Go ahead.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor, second to authorize the president to sign. Commissioner Price,
Yes.
Commissioner Stan,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, Keystone Waterproofing will be here, they were to be here next
I saw
week,
you.
they delayed that by 1 week. We'll be here the first week in August, I've notified employees over there. I would anticipate the west side of that building will be impacted for a week. If it gets done faster, that'll be
Good.
great. We have other entrances that employees can use, and it should not in any way impact the public access. So that's August 1. The elevator in the annex will be closed August 5th, which is a Thursday, first week in August, and that is maintenance and repair, just an item. That should be only a day event.
Okay.
I have sent emails to everyone that would be infected in that building, and of course, on both of these things, I'm asking them to reach out. If anyone has an appointment here, or anyone they can imagine might be impacted by either the work at the courthouse or an elevator being out for a day, I've asked them to reach out to them. I did have a note on, I did receive a message from a resident on, and I believe that this resident is on Route 92, and they saw the discussion we're going to have on Marcus, and I guess they're in between two places. I'm reaching out to her and asking her to send us additional information. Yes, I think we need some additional information to just give us a better idea. I know where they live is close to Raccoon Valley or down in that area, and I think what she's relating to me is that they're caught in a no man's land between two services, and they're not very far apart.
Okay.
So, I was thinking that perhaps that might be something that when we get our delegation together, we might want to address that. I think Commissioner Stone is saying that we have so many of these that are so close together that we want to try to capture those. That was in that particular area, so.
Is that close to a service from Barber?
No, up this way,
No,
up back
no, no.
towards our.
This is on Route
That's too far.
92,
That's too far.
near Raccoon Valley Road vicinity.
It's like
is where it is.
Concord Road,
nearer to
different.
Newburgh. than-
Much nearer to Newburgh,
Yes.
correct. Okay, so my idea is to be mid-August to try to get all those parties together. I'd like to hold out a meeting at the election center meeting area. I think we can set up some tables there and just need to check with the clerk just to make sure she isn't utilizing that facility at that time. I think
Looks like it's all
that'll,
set up right now, honestly, when I went there yesterday. So,
well, and it's got great parking, it's handicap accessible.
yes.
You know, there's several parties gonna be there. I don't think this venue will work, so let's move down
Can you
there.
see if we can get it anytime in August before the 10th?
Okay, so, well, that's what I'm here about. I haven't scheduled anything because I knew that some of you might be out of town. I didn't see any meetings for any committees that you're on, but I know that you have a state fair.
My children show.
and,
We don't
I-
have until like the 10th or 11th, so.
I was looking, to tell you the truth, when I was
And
looking.
after the 21st or 22nd?
You want it after the 27th
Or
of August?
before, as Samantha said, either before or after. Before the 10th or after the 22nd. That's just a week there that,
Are you going to be gone as well?
I'll be
Well,
here
then-
for our meeting,
You're not gonna be here for the meeting?
I don't know yet. I don't know what'll come up on that.
Okay, well, I need to get home now. There's no use for me to move forward trying to get that many people together. Perhaps we ought to wait until September then.
Well, I don't know about that. That still gives,
I don't know that I can
Well,
arrange everything by the 10th of August.
well, then do it after the 22nd. It gives us,
No, she's not available.
I am.
After the
We're not-
27th?
The 22nd.
Second, oh, okay. when are you going?
I'm just gone for like 6 days. I'm not gone.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
gone.
going
So you'll be
maybe
here
the
the
11th through
24th?
17th.
Let's try for that then.
Yeah, you're never gonna find a perfect time for everybody
No.
to be there, so you just find.
Well, I
Just
think
pick a time to
it's
go.
the main parties that we've got to get here,
Well,
and
that-
also
that's
PSD.
the main.
PSD. So, wait, let's try for,
I mean, they may make you move.
Right.
Another time too.
right. Interviews, I'd like to schedule the interviews for, the, animal shelter position for next Thursday. Kelly and I met yesterday and shortlisted to 8 or 9. Kelly will certainly be part of the team. I'll be part of the team. I'd like to have one of you as part of the team. If you all want to be part of the team, that's okay with me, but I would like to have one. 29th. It will start at 11 o'clock. I have a prior meeting in the morning, but
I'm available.
I'll be done. If you all three want to be there, that's fine with me. We're gonna have to move them. I have
Actually,
it
let me get
started,
back to you, I think I can talk to you.
well, I'm gonna start at 11 and it'll take me to about 2:30. Now, there may be some we have to accommodate, depending on their
Oh,
work schedule
yes.
and those kind of things.
Yeah, that's
But
all.
I'd like to start reaching out to the candidates that we have, because if someone has to give a 2 weeks notice,
Mhm.
we're looking at mid-August before we get someone up there.
Right.
So I would like to, so you all can decide that. I'm just saying, I'm going to start making calls today to interview on the 29th. Then we'll present a recommendation to you all for employment. I will say that the part-time position, Samantha's back, that's helped tremendously, especially through this time where we have lots of vacationing. It really is helpful to have that part-time temporary position. So, I think that's what I have for you today, with the exception of budget revisions. And I have several for you. You should all have a copy of them.
Yeah, a bunch of
We'll
them here.
start with the SEEP,
Which one?
the SEEP,
Oh, see, all
um,
right, community corrections.
community corrections. First one is to incorporate the SEEP grant in the amount that the revenues will be $132,811. That goes into salaries, benefits, professional services, materials and supplies, and mostly it's some equipment. So that is for the SEED grant. The next one is to incorporate the Community Corrections Program grant, $100,000. That is used for salaries and I believe benefits is what that's used for. It may also have some professional services in it. The next one I have for you is a budget revision to, we did receive the money from the Ryan Fund to support your part-time temporary job at the animal shelter. You'll see that I've increased the transfer from other funds, which means that you have in your bill box a voucher to draw that money in. You do have a little bit, I requested 13, and the reason I requested like 13,680 is this is just basically a basic wage for 1,039 hours. However, there may come a time that this position may work a holiday. So I didn't want to incorporate any time and a half until I had more information as we move along. Dave, did you not find them?
Yeah, that one where I was speaking. about
Okay, I'm
something.
sorry. The next item that you have is to incorporate the community corrections, use the Sally Kine for their bookkeeping and accounting. And we actually pay her from your extra help line item at the county commission. So that's basically to incorporate her wage and her FICA and workers' comp. Also, on all your community corrections and your SEEP grants, they are covering all the healthcare. Those grants cover the workers' compensation, all those things. So I believe that's all I have for today on budget revisions, as well as the sheriff's.
Sizable sheriff.
She's good. Okay, so I believe that's what I
I
have
do
here
not have
today.
a copy of the sheriff's, like a hard copy of it.
Then you can get hers to stamp.
Okay, 'cause I was looking at, and I have it, I mean, I have it where Melissa emailed, but I didn't have a hard copy, so.
Okay, do we have a motion on the budget revisions?
We approved these budget revisions for community corrections for the Preston County Commission, for the animal shelter, and
The sheriff.
the sheriff.
Second.
That's all, okay. Commissioner Floyd, and a second to approve all the budget revisions. Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Stan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, for this week, as far as, we do have a work session this afternoon, which we announced last week, on your cleanup ordinance.
I
And
thought it was after this meeting.
didn't I say, well, I'm sorry.
You said this afternoon.
I'm saying, well, we immediately follow this meeting. We're gonna have a work session on that, and I believe, perhaps an EMS, just depends. We need to get the cleanup thing
That
knocked out
needs to be a priority.
today. Then, don't forget next Thursday, at 5 PM, there's the event for the, Humane Society, 5 o'clock at the Eagles. Next week, we will be meeting. You have your meeting in Canaan Valley on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We will be meeting in regular session at 1 PM on Wednesday, the 28th. So we'll prepare that agenda and get it out to you. It will be a regular meeting. So far, I don't think we have any appointments, but we're just going to consider that a regular meeting so you can take care of probate bills. You will not be meeting on Tuesday, but you'll be meeting on Wednesday because you will get the carryover. We'll have all the budget stuff ready for you. Should be completed by the end of July, so we would like to present that. As I said, on the 29th, we'd like to get those interviews out of the way, and you all can talk about that. Just briefly, the first week in August will be Keystone and the elevator. And right now, that's what I have for you. Any questions?
One other thing I forgot to mention when I was talking, was that I had the opportunity and the privilege to go down and speak at the flag dedication, the new flag that was erected down there in Brewston. A lot of hard work and volunteering went into that, donations from a lot of community members and businesses did that, and it is a beautiful, beautiful flag pole, the concrete work, the stamped concrete around the bottom. And I just saw yesterday that Prodigy also gave an additional donation that's going to put a really nice light
That's very nice.
that, so, because you can actually see it when you cross the bridge, it's right in front of Town Hall,
Right.
close to the area there, the Town Hall and the yard, and it's really, really beautiful. So, great, the weather was really wishy-washy all day long. It looked like it was going to storm, and the whole time Jeannie was speaking, the storm was blowing around us, but it did not rain. It was a very nice event with a good turnout from the folks down there, and so it was nice.
Very good. Commissioner Price, do you have anything?
Let's see, Thursday, we have that Humane Society thing in the afternoon. That morning, I'll be chatting with, some folks on the EMS thing that we're working on, with Doc Conley and some of the ambulance representatives, and 911 OEM folks. Will be probably at 10 o'clock. I don't know how long that will last. The risk pool is where we're insured, and that is a tremendous success for Preston County. So as far as saving counties and towns and PSD's money and providing a good service. And so Vivian is a representative from the risk pool, and when she comes up on Thursday, she's going to meet with the folks in Terre Alta, town council, and the mayor or someone to give them some information. Then she's going to go to PSD 4. We set up a meeting for her at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we'll go there and hope that is a good outcome. Of course, we have our County Commissioners Association meetings beginning Sunday, and then our meeting next Tuesday or Wednesday here. So, but Yeah, pretty busy.
Mhm. And like Dave mentioned, we have that county commissioner association meeting next week, so.
That is a meeting that is more productive, it looks like, than any meeting we've had
Well,
for a
it's,
while.
it's going to go over a lot of, the auditor and the office are gonna go over a lot of the stuff dealing with, this, American Rescue Plan money and all that, so that's gonna be hopefully a huge help in that regard. So, I did have a meeting yesterday with the Trails, Committee, and a nice meeting down at the EDA office, some good information. You know, it was good discussion from, different people throughout the county, and actually from Mullen County too, so, on some of how to improve, the, and expand the tourism and business part of that aspect of that, so that's one of the things we talked about. So hopefully, they're supposed to have another meeting next month, August 16th. And then have in Mason Town, trying to encourage some of the municipalities to show up too, because especially with Mason Town Refill being on the trail, you know, on the trails, should make a difference, but.
I did have one question, Dawn, on your CDB. Are you going back in person?
I do not know yet. They have yet to make that determination yet. Because
If you
what
would
they
check.
normally do, I would check, because I'm gonna miss the next one, because it's supposed to be when we're coming back from Cane Valley. So the
Okay.
next one's the 27th, so I'm gonna miss it, so I have to contact them anyway. And I forgot to mention it, because Andrea was she was from the CBB, she was there representing them yesterday at that meeting. And I forgot to mention to her, so.
Well, I just like to make notes so we don't,
Well, I
we
know.
have to alter that meeting for
Right,
you.
I understand.
We want to do
And
that.
I will talk to them today and get a good answer on that. I know it isn't something you just flip the switch on, because they had to put RFPs out to, because they have it in different locations. So if they request that, you have to put that request for bids out on it, so that they figure out where they're gonna be meeting at. Because they have to get a conference room.
It's
so.
just
Yep.
to mine, because I'd like to schedule the agendas out till the end of the year anyway.
Yep. Yeah, I will check with them today, then I'll send them an email, so that won't be not a problem. But yeah, that normally would be the thing, so. Oh, and on that note, I did check with workforce, and they're going to try to have their, it's a long way away, their March 11th, 2021 meeting here in Preston County Inn. So that way who's representing us at that time will they'll have to travel anymore, so.
You make a note of that.
That's it, I guess we'll adjourn this meeting and then move into our work session, hopefully we can get that taken care of. The main thing.
Let's take a,
Well, we're gonna take a 10-minute
10-minute break.
break. We'll take a 10-minute
I'd like
break
to
and
set
start
up the
10.
room a little bit, get a table, we're gonna use a table and some things, so,
Well, all
and I
right,
think we
that
could.
being said, this meeting is adjourned, and we'll start work session at 10.